sophomore from Hackensack, number 13, Shelby Moore. And a sophomore from Marlboro, number 25, Matthew Ringo. The Jersey Blues are coached by head coach Paul Chizik, associate head coach Charlie Hawthorne, assistant coaches Kurt Benchel, John Rivera, and Ron Pastore. Good luck to both teams. The officials for today's game are Thomas Fitzgerald, Randy Desser, and Juan Jones.
Back inside the Collins Arena, we are getting set for the opening tip. The Jersey Blues and the Fighting Owls of Harford. Matt Ringel at midcourt, and the Jersey Blues have controlled the opening tip. They have possession to start the night. It's Jameek Moore, the sophomore, inside for Ringel, who had it blocked. Ringel staying with it, and he goes up and scores. So the starting lineups for the Jersey Blues, it is Olakani, Grant Good, Kyle Bradshaw, Jameek Moore, and Matt Ringel in the middle. For Harford with a record of 1-0, as a good contest there by Ringel, and then it's stolen away. And back the other way comes Olakani, and he draws the foul. So Olakani will go to the line, finishing out the starting five. For the Owls, it will be Malik Jones, Des Brown, Everson Ogbonna, Martin Kelly Jr., and Isaiah Boggs. So Olakani thinks he was fouled in the act of shooting, but the officials say that's not the case, and so Olakani will inbound it. Bradshaw catching fire, short, and back the other way comes Harford. Kelly Jr., defender went down, it's a blocking foul. As hitting the ground hard that time was Moore on the drive to the basket, and Kelly will shoot two.
Yeah, and we talked about Jameek Moore coming on this team. He was on this team as a freshman in 2014 to 2015. That season took a couple of years off, but the Brookdale coaching staff is very high on him. He picked up his first personal there, but they're very high on him, saying that he's a big factor in having this team be good on offense this year.
So Martin Kelly misses on the first attempt. A sophomore out of Washington, D.C. Just underway here at the Collins Arena. And it's Brookdale with the early 2-1 lead. We do not have our scoreboard up and running on the screen, and so we'll just have to give you updates very frequently as if we were on the radio. 1 minute gone by, and it's Olakani on the wing with the shot clock down to 12. Olakani tried to get rid of it, but it's stolen, and here come the Owls. Around they work it to Jones, top of the key. And it's Moore with the tight defense, and looks like they got him for a push as the Owls were making their move along the baseline. They'll have it underneath.
Yeah, and if you're Jameek Moore, that's certainly something that you don't want to do. Obviously, he's going to come out of the game. Coach Chuzak pulling him out, not even 90 seconds in with two quick fouls. You got to be a little bit more careful and have a little bit more maturity to realize that you can't go committing fouls early on in this game.
And the inbounds is to Malik Jones, cutting to the basket, and a nice move for two as Harford gains a 3-2 edge. Brookdale trying to break the press, but they're unable to. Then it's stolen back in the back court. Brookdale trying to get organized offensively, and sloppy play continuing as again it's Harford. Here's Jones, double team came on him, lost it out of bounds. But The officials will say Owl basketball.
Yeah, it was last touched by Hernandez. It went off of his foot, but good defense early on by Brookdale. But one thing I'm noticing is Harford is really pressuring Brookdale on the backcourt, which has given them some trouble early on.
And you have Harford, who has played one game on this season. They were victorious in that one, a 91-76 victory. The miss by Kelly. Olakani pushes ahead for Bradshaw. Bradshaw in traffic, and he draws the foul. Kyle Bradshaw knifing his way through a couple of defenders, and he'll shoot two.
And Kyle Bradshaw, one of the players that we've talked about during the preseason as one of the players that is coming back. You have Bradshaw, you have Olakani, you have Ringel, and you have Jordan Hernandez, the four players that are returning from last year's Region 19 title-winning team. So certainly someone that Coach Chuzak and his entire coaching staff is going to look to try to improve and try to get points, particularly in some of these early games when you have a very young team.
And Bradshaw was one of the key contributors a season ago, averaging just over 6 points per game for the Jersey Blues. So it's Brookdale 4, Harford 3. 17:40 to go in the first half. And now on the drive, Boggs put it up with the left hand, and they called an offensive foul. So it's going the other way. Boggs gets hit with his first of the night, and it's Jersey Blue basketball. So Grant Good to inbound. Brookdale's 5 is Good, Olakani, Hernandez, Bradshaw, and Ringel. They lead 4-3. Olakani to the basket, and he might have had it blocked. It's last touched by Harford, and so the Jersey Blues will inbound underneath. 17 to shoot is Olakani. Nice bounce pass, Ringel, the up and under, and he scores.
And Matt Ringel's another player that contributed very nicely last year. So early on, some of the sophomore leaders stepping up.
It's a Jersey Blue team that is only returning 4 players from a season ago. So the women only had 2. The men's side has 4, but a lot of new faces on both sides. Here's a long 3, and it is off the front rim by Malik Jones. Ringel able to control the glass. To the corner, Hernandez thought about it, and then he got fouled. Khalil Williams-Diggins hits him on the outside, and so he'll get hit with his first.
Yeah, Hernandez is one of those shifty players that can really make a move very quickly. It's a very fast first step, so if you're someone like Malik Jones, you have to be very careful when you go running after a player like Hernandez who can easily make a move and go right around you. So I think Jones was actually very lucky that he got into Hernandez and he committed the foul, or else Hernandez would have gone right around him.
Here's Olakani spinning, back out for Good. Now Ringel trying to post up. Nice cutter, and off the glass and in. It was Hernandez cutting through the paint for 2. So the Jersey Blues leading by 5. Another matchup where it's Division III, in this case Brookdale, against Division I Harford. But Brookdale has held up through the first 4 minutes, up 8-3. Here's Boggs. Boggs will draw the foul. It's not in the act of shooting. Paul Chizek does not think so, and it'll be the first of many of those this season.
Yeah, and the funny thing is we were talking to Coach Chizek before the game. He said, this is the calmest you will ever see me. Calm, cool, and collected before the game. Once the game starts, totally different. But I do believe he has a case. That looked like a traveling call to me from up here. I'm not sure if that's technically a foul on Grant Good. That was a very touchy call by the officials on the floor.
Yeah, he's always more relaxed talking to us than once the game starts. Well, it's a different story. 4 minutes gone by, 8-3 Brookdale. Des Brown picked up by Bradshaw, catching fire. Williams-Diggins, count it. It's a 3. So Khalil Williams-Diggins, who put up 10 points in their first game of the year, knocks down a long ball. And now he gets the steal. Malik Roundtree is checked in. And in the paint, the little floater by Ogbonna misses. It's tipped up, and Roundtree gets the offensive rebound. Williams-Diggins, not that time, and it's rebounded by Olakani. Olakani looking up the floor, pass knocked off the backboard, and controlled by Harford.
And that shot almost went in. It wasn't even touched by a Brookdale player. That almost got bounced in and ricocheted into the basket by one of the players for Harford.
Roundtree, the fadeaway hits.
And we should mention, Brookdale's playing a Division I team here. This is not someone that they usually play, not only in their conference, but yet alone in their division. So very early on, a very nice start. Brookdale hanging tough.
They're meeting for the first time in 3 seasons as a foul on the pass. That'll be team foul number 5 against the Owls of this first half. A change on each side here, as checking out is Hernandez in favor of Frez Cabrera for the first time tonight. Now Olakani on the low block. Olakani got fouled.
Yeah, Olakani last year was someone who averaged over 10 points a game and was one of the players that you could always depend on to make some nice shots down the stretch. Nice job by Olakani, staying patient on the low block area. It's hard to stay patient down there. Your instinct is to go right up with it, but sometimes it's better just to stay patient and wait for the contact and then go up. That's exactly what he did.
And he is one of the 4 players who returns from last year. Very solid season last year, averaged 10.5 points per game. And we often marveled at his athletic ability watching him in the open floor last season. So he converts 2 from the line. Brookdale's in front 10-8. As we're just over 5 minutes into action of this first half. Here on opening night, the Collins Arena, baseline jumper off the mark by Ogbonna, tipped around. Bradshaw trying to gain control of it, and he does.
Yeah, Bradshaw almost took an extra step there. Very lucky he was able to get it over to Olakani.
Olakani, the crossover. Olakani through traffic. Ringgold trying to catch it. And it's on the end line. It'll go back to the Owls. And very quickly a substitution, as taking off his practice jersey is Makai Morgan. He is in the game, and his number is not correct on our sheet, as he is wearing number 2. We have him listed at, no, he is number 2, excuse me. 10-8, Brookdale in front. I had him 23 on my board. So here's the lob inside, and a hard foul. That was Ringgold. And
maybe
Boggs.
Makai maybe trying to think that you're Michael Jordan on the floor, maybe trying to imitate that a little bit. I don't know.
Hey, I went by whatever was on the website. That's what went on my card. So Jersey Blues 10 and the Fighting Owls 8. Early going, and it's Boggs to shoot. Makes the first one. And he had a team-high 16 points in the Owls' last game. It was a 91-76 win over Harrisburg back on November 1st. And 1 out of 2 from the line. Ringgold grabs another rebound. And here on the drive, and a travel is called on Frez Cabrera. He did not quite think so, and Paul Chizek looking for an explanation. Nonetheless, it'll be Harford ball.
Yeah, one thing that you run the risk of happening when you're playing in such a high-tempo offense is to have traveling calls, because you're not allowing the ball to really touch the court too much. Brookdale and Coach Chizek in particular always like to push the ball up the floor. High-tempo offense, sometimes traveling and turnovers are a factor that you have to factor in sometimes as a result of that.
Carlos Dunn misses inside and scoring on the scoop layup. It's Williams-Diggins, and that was a nifty move for 2. So it's 11-10. Harford has gone back on top. 13-15 to go, first half. Bradshaw puts up a 3. It's way short. Trying to snag the rebound was Cabrera. Now we get our first look at Tyler Harris. He enters the game. Bradshaw will get a breather. And Olakani back in on the Brookdale side as well. Morgan inbound. Harris nearly dribbled it out of bounds. Out of the double team to Olakani. Swing it over to Grant Good with the shot clock now down to 5. Morgan trying to make something happen. Shot clock at 2. And Olakani's hoist comes off the front rim, and it's picked up defensively by Boggs.
Yeah, nice defensive hold there by Harford, not allowing Brookdale anything inside, just passes around the perimeter.
11-10 Harford, 12:40 to go in the first half. Dunn on the outside, Dunn fires, too strong. Fight for the rebound, it's controlled by the Owls. Back up strong, Boggs forces it up and misses. A late whistle, and the foul looks like it's going to be on Harford, as Olakani wanted to take it the other way.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Cabrera actually wasn't fouled in the scrum round center court just a few seconds before that whistle was called. There was kind of a scrum, players were going for the loose ball, and there was a lot of contact, but no foul was called.
So it's a free throw opportunity now for Grant Good, his first attempts of the season. A sophomore out of Matawan in a 1-and-1, and he'll get another attempt. So for Brookdale, they're coming off a terrific season. A year ago, the record was 24 up, 11 down. They won the Region 19. They went to the national tournament, where they were defeated 3 straight times out in Rochester, Minnesota. But all in all, you finish 8th in the country. You had a great season start to finish. A little bit streaky, but it was about as good as you could have hoped for.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this team in the past over the last several seasons under this coaching staff have very good seasons and be competitive. But certainly last year, with a season that didn't necessarily start out all that great, really kind of came together in the end. They were able to get the title. They didn't play all that well in the national tournament. That's something I think Coach Chuzak would admit to and would talk about, that that's an area that they need to improve upon last year, that they didn't execute in that situation. But still a really great season and some really great recruits that the team is very excited about this year.
Yes, Grant Good able to come away with the offensive rebound and put it in to give the Jersey Blues a 13-11 advantage. Come up on 12 minutes left in the opening half. Cutting to the basket, Roundtree. Outside Williams-Diggins, he's way short, and it's rebounded by Tyler Harris. Harris, and that is a travel on the sophomore out of South River, New Jersey. That'll get possession back over to the Fighting Owls. So under 12 minutes to go now in the first half. It's Brookdale by 2. Roundtree nearly lost it. Diving attempt by Good. Now Roundtree in the lane, and it's last touched out of bounds by Brookdale.
Hey, I have to say, we're 11:35 remaining in the first half. I'm very impressed with the way Brookdale has started this game. Certainly Harford, a very tough team from Division I, and Brookdale Division III, holding up very nicely with a 2-point lead.
Harford, who comes from Bel Air, Maryland, the northeast section of the state, so a pretty long trip for them in their second game of the season. Here's a chance on the break, going behind the back. Miklos off the mark. Michael Miklos on a 3, and last touched out of bounds by Brookdale, so Harford off that miss will get another chance. Harford last year a school record 24 victories. They were 24-8, won their region. Nice block on the perimeter by Ringel, as the shot clock will not reset. It's down to 17. Roundtree stripped by Olakani, picked up by Ringel, and Bradshaw starts the other way. Here's Grant Good, right to the basket, he lays it in.
A nice hesitation there by Good. He kind of hesitated, looked to see if there was anybody else open, realized the best opportunity he had was going straight to the basket, and he did that.
15-11 Brookdale on the baseline. Good defense by Ringel. Roundtree, the floater in the lane, he's good. So Malik Roundtree, who comes all the way from Phoenix, Arizona, to be a freshman on this team, as the corner triple is good by Chris Cabrera. So he has his first points as a Jersey Blue, and it's 18-13 Brookdale about halfway through this first half. Miklos defended by Bradshaw. Here's Batur Sahinos. Sahinos out to the corner. And the shot is off the mark by Karan Green. It's rebounded by Good. Officially halfway through this first half. Brookdale 18, Harford 13. Olakani directing traffic, way out top. Ringel had it knocked away, it's stolen. And ahead of the floor, blocked! Oh, what a defensive play! They got it back, but the shot at the rim was no good. It'll remain Harford ball, but Olakani getting back in transition with an emphatic rejection.
An excellent hustle getting back on defense. Olakani threw that ball away, not necessarily any fault of his own. A turnover there, didn't give up on the play, got back on defense, had to hustle all the way down the floor, and made a really nice play.
Now the officials are conferring. I'm wondering if they're discussing who should have possession right here.
Not sure. They might also be discussing, just speculating here about whether or not that was a goaltending call. I don't believe that's what they could be discussing, because I think the foul occurred after, but that could also be something. Olakani made a nice block, but was the ball starting to go down?
Well, the official goes over to the scores table.
Yeah, it's Tom Fitzgerald. He's been here for a while. I was talking to Tom before, and he had a terrible fall the last time he was here in the Collins Arena, where he tripped over backwards trying to stay with the play. So I told Tom, be a little bit more careful this time.
And joining Tom Fitzgerald are Randy Desir and DeJuan Jones, the officials for tonight's game. It's Brookdale up by 5. This is Roundtree trying to go glass, and Ringel the rebound. And on the drive, blocking foul is called. Aggressive move by Cabrera, and he'll shoot 2.
And Cabrera, another player that's got a lot of speed, really able to turn on the jets when he gets the ball in his hand. Harford so far has had some difficulty handling him. He's had a couple trips to the line. Let's see if he can get some shots to fall down from the free throw line.
Freshman from Perth Amboy, no good on the first one. Brookdale leading 18-13. It's Cabrera, the 5'7" guard. And he makes good on the second attempt. He splits a pair.
That's a 6-point lead for Brookdale, 19-13 with 9 minutes to go. Pretty impressive, like I said, for a team that's competing in the Division III league against a Division I school.
Green's pass was knocked away by Bradshaw. Olakani trying on the save. And which way will it go? It will stay right here with Harford. Miklos to inbound with Olakani right in his face. Olakani slaps it out of bounds.
I tell you, Olakani has been all over the floor so far tonight. Nice hustle, really staying aggressive, and he needs to be. He's one of the sophomore leaders, one of the few players that came over from last year's Region 19 title winning team. So he needs to be aggressive, needs to be creating some energy, and he's done that so far.
19-13 Brookdale, under 9 minutes to go now in the first half. Shot clock now down to 1. The corner 3 is way off the mark by Miklos, and it's a shot clock violation. The ball back to Brookdale. And one thing that we've seen, I mean, you're going against a Division I team in Harford. They don't return any starters from last year, so much like Brookdale, a lot of turnover in their roster, but one thing you always know you're going to get with this Brookdale team is good defense, and we've seen that so far tonight. Bradshaw's jumper won't go, and it's rebounded by Malik Jones. Harford has just not been able to establish any kind of a rhythm offensively. Green swoops in but misses. Good contest down low by Ringel. Cabrera's pass the other way, diving attempt for the steal, and it rolls out of bounds. And it'll stay on this end of the floor, as that was Hernandez who hit the deck. So Hernandez will check out of the ball game now. And we're down to 8:05 left remaining in this first half. Brookdale 19, Harford 13. And that's a foul before the pass could even be thrown, as Cabrera was run into by Des Brown. And so that is team foul number 10. Puts Brookdale in the double bonus and puts Cabrera at the line.
And on the opposite spectrum, Brookdale's only committed 14 fouls and were more than 12 minutes into this game in the first half. So they've played nice defense, but they've also kept their hands to themselves, so to speak, and have not committed too many senseless fouls.
So Cabrera already had a couple of opportunities at the line. Gets the roll on that first one, as the Jersey Blues are in front 20-13 with 8:05 remaining in the first half. As 2 out of 2 from the line, gets the bounce on that second one. And we'll hit the 8-minute mark with the Jersey Blues up by 8. Fading away is Jones. His shot misses. Rebound Olakani. Olakani, nice fast break. That should be a goaltend, and it is. Bradshaw made the indication. Great passing on that fast break and score the bucket for Bradshaw. So that puts the Jersey Blues in front by double figures. Miklos the fake. Miklos dribbled it off his foot. Jersey Blues the other way. Pull up, pop, good, count it. Timeout, Harford. What a start for Brookdale against a Division I opponent. It's the Jersey Blues that are leading by 12, 25-13. We'll step aside from the Collins Arena. We'll be right back. .27 remaining in the first half. Brookdale leading by 12. It's 25-13 Jersey Blues. Outside the timeout called by Owls head coach Mike Smelkinson, who was not happy with his team's start. Miklos short on the 3. Offensive rebound. Boggs stolen away. Bradshaw headed to the floor. He couldn't pick it up cleanly and lost it. So Bradshaw would have had a clear path to the basket, but instead it'll be Harford ball. This is the first time these teams are meeting in 3 years. The last time was when Brookdale traveled down to Bel Air, Maryland in 2014. As the sloppy play continues on both ends, another turnover for Harford. But talking about head coach Mike Smelkinson, we talked to him before the game, and you think it's a Division I team he's coaching against Division III. He acted like he wasn't so sure what he was going to get from his team here tonight.
Well, he knows that Brookdale is tough, and particularly here in this arena, the record that Brookdale has had in this arena is you see that nice tip-in by Ringel that's not going to count because of an offensive foul, which I'm not quite sure about that. But when you look at the record that they have had in this arena over the past several seasons, it's been almost unbeatable. They have been really strong. For some reason, Brookdale plays really good in this Collins Arena. And as an away team, when you're coming in, regardless of whether you're Division I, Division II, Division III, you know that you're going to have a battle on your hands.
And so far, Brookdale has been up to the task. And an unforced
Backcourt, yeah.
error here as Brown loses it. Brookdale has been able to force a lot of turnovers. That time it'll go in the books as a forced turnover, but they didn't really have to do much. 6 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the first half with Brookdale up by 12. And now on the floor with it was Grant Good, and on the jump ball, possession arrow favors the Owls. So Kenneth LaRocca is one substitution in the game for Brookdale. He was on the floor. Now we're going to get a timeout. 6:15 left to go, and the Jersey Blues up by 12 here at home.
Full timeout, Brookdale.
So it's a strong start for the Jersey Blues here on opening night. Brian Goudsford with Tim Catalfamo, the rest of our crew, right here on Brookdale TV. And this was going to be a tough challenge any way you looked at the matchup going in. And Brookdale has been up to that challenge, off to a terrific start. And as we come up on 6 minutes left to go in the first half. And Malik Jones able to knock it down from behind the arc. It's a three. So Harford looking to fight their way back in this one. They now trail by 9 as Olakani gets the offense started for Brookdale. And that's a foul called. It was good on the shot attempt, and he'll go to the line.
Fouls on Harford's number 14.
So Grant Good, one of the newcomers to this Jersey Blue program. St. John Vianney High School product. And he gets the roll on the first attempt. So there are a few notable departures to this team from last year. Starting point guard Kerry Kirkwood, Sky Harris, Jordan Little, James Wright. All four were key components to the starting lineup last year. All have moved on after their eligibility was up. So Brookdale will have to make it work with a lot of new players. That's a nice move, and Isaiah Boggs gets it to go. Cabrera flying in, the tip in by Bradshaw misses. And now Boggs the other way. Boggs right at Olakani. Good defense to strip it on the floor. Olakani trying to gain control of it. It's going to be a jump ball. Olakani with a little extracurriculars afterwards. And I'm not sure who they awarded possession to, but it looks like we get another timeout on the floor. We're down to 5:16 left in this first half. And we will step aside. We will keep it here for this brief timeout. But Tim, I think you have to be impressed with the effort, both ends of the floor, that Brookdale has played with so far.
Yeah, I mean, certainly they have played extremely well. I'm very surprised to say that they have come, or to see that they have come out this strong early on against a Division I team that, for all intents and purposes, has a lot more depth than they do. Brookdale kind of working with a little bit of struggling right now, trying to get a couple more players to come in as the season goes along, but they have a lot more depth on the other side. In Hartford has a lot more depth coming in, so the fact that Brookdale's been able to start well, play well, and continue that momentum all the way throughout this first half and hold a Hartford team that, for all intents and purposes, could easily put up 85 points on any given night. To only 18 points so far in the first half is very impressive to me.
So we're ready to go outside the timeouts. The Jersey Blues 26, the Owls 18, with 5:10 remaining in the first half. Defense keeping Brookdale on the outside. LaRocca able to get it back. Now Good fires way short. Trying for the save was Stephon Forbes. Forbes fires a three of his own, and he's fouled. Stephon Forbes, who's just into the game, and he's fouled shooting a three-pointer. 3 attempts upcoming.
Yeah, just nice hustle by Brookdale, not giving up on that possession. Offensive rebounding, very critical to Forbes getting that opportunity from the corner to begin with, and then, of course, getting fouled. Now he's got 3 shots from the line.
So Forbes, a freshman who comes from Bed-Stuy, New York, and he connects on the first attempt. And I think the book on him is he brings a good shooter to this team, something they didn't have a lot of last year. It was much more of an attack the basket, get out and transition kind of team. Now they might be improved as a three-point shooting team, another weapon they can add to their offensive arsenal.
Yeah, I think when you look at things, they had players such as Jordan Little, who were really big presence down low and really were able to contribute a lot of points. They don't necessarily have that. They have Matt Ringel, but they don't have as much depth in that position. They have more depth across some of the other positions around the perimeter, and I think that's what you were alluding to, Brian. I think that will make them dangerous this year.
28-18, Brookdale on top. Malik Jones, hard drive, and he banks it in. Malik Jones would not be stopped as he goes glass and makes it an 8-point game. Under 4.5 to go now in the first half. Grant Good turns it over. LaRocca couldn't save it. And we'll get a substitution. Perez Cabrera, who was very active earlier in the half, comes back into the game. 28-20, Jersey Blues. 4:10 remaining in the half. Opening night here at the Collins Arena. Brookdale coming off a 24-win season a year ago. Posting up Ogbonna, the miss. And Boggs on the second chance opportunity. He misses point-blank range. These shots are just not dropping for the Owls. Looks like they're going to get another opportunity here on the inbounds. And we get a timeout. Mike Smelkinson is bringing his team together. 3:50 to go. Brookdale by 8. We'll take a break.
The Garden State Film Festival returns to Atlantic City, March 31st through April 3rd, 2016. Don't miss the show. Purchase tickets at gsff.org.
Hello, my name is Jack Ryan, and I teach English at Brookdale Community College. The mask that I'm wearing here is simply a prop that I use in my American Lit 1 class when I teach Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Cask of Amontillado. In that...
And there you get a look at the scoreboard. Since our ticker is down for tonight, we'll hope to have that up and running for our next broadcast, which will be on Saturday. And on the alley-oop attempt, it's Ogbonna on the receiving end of the inbounds pass for 2. So the Jersey Blues now in front by 6. It's 28-22. Forbes for 3. Yes!
And the interesting thing, Harford went to a 2-3 zone that time and didn't account for Forbes in the corner, left him wide open for a right arc 3.
31-22. Jones answers back with a 3 of his own. So Malik Jones, who posted a 14-point effort in Harford's first game of the season. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Brookdale. Jones, a sophomore out of Baltimore. So Cabrera to inbound near side. We hit the 3-minute mark first half. It's 31-25 Jersey Blues. Good, nice move, good, had it knocked away, and a late whistle after the Owls were ready to take it the other way. It looks like they got a foul.
Yeah, and the officials are letting these guys play, and I think they're letting them play just a little bit too hard, because when you don't initially blow whistles, when there's a lot of contact, guys start to shove and push a little harder because they know that whistle is not coming, and that's when sometimes you have a little bit of skirmishes break out. So I think the officials starting to lose control of this game just a little bit. They got to play this, I think, a little bit tighter. There's some pushing and shoving going on that I think could get out of hand if it's not handled quickly.
And that is Boggs getting the roll. A nice cut to the basket. So it's the Jersey Blues 31, the Owls 27, with 2.5 left to go in the first half. Cabrera knocks down a 3. So we saw Forbes a moment ago knock one down from long range. That time it's Cabrera, and the lead back to 7. Posting up Ogbonna against Bradshaw. Ogbonna counted.
Yeah, the 6'6" Ogbonna squaring off against the 6'5" Kyle Bradshaw. A little bit of a height differential, not by much, but Ogbonna a nice job, a nice turnaround shot in the paint.
34-29, Brookdale. Cabrera from another side. That one's way off. And what a save, but no, they say that Malik Jones was not able to. And so Brookdale will be able to inbound it. Shot clock will not reset as the shot did not make contact with the rim.
And something interesting, Jameek Moore is coming in. Remember, we saw him for the first 90 seconds of the first half, picked up 2 quick personal fouls. We have not seen him since. So he's coming in with 1:46 left in this first half. Surprising, but nonetheless, I think he'll have to be a little bit more careful. He doesn't pick up an additional foul.
So Forbes looking, and he finally gets it in for Cabrera. Shot clock at 10. Cabrera, the runner, and it's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, number 12, Ray Cabrera.
Yeah, and I don't know about that one, Brian. I'm not sure if he was in that circle that's underneath the paint or not. That's a tough call, but nonetheless, he had set his feet, and I think a pretty good call by the official, but you got to be careful, certainly, when you make calls like that late after the play has happened.
Roundtree up and over Ringel, but he missed it. Oh, Ringel snatches it on the block. Not only did he get the block, but he gave Brookdale possession. Forbes inside the arc for 2. Stephon Forbes, smooth delivery on the jumper. Jersey Blues 36, Owls 29, nearly a steal at midcourt. Roundtree pass was knocked away by Moore out of bounds.
Harford basketball.
And Harford's really struggling to just get anything working inside. They've had some nice shots around the perimeter, but they're really having trouble driving to the basket. Credit Brookdale's defense.
Jones, too strong on a 3. Brookdale looking to run. Cabrera in transition. Cabrera to the basket, off the glass, no. Rebound Ogbonna. Under a minute left to go now in the half. Brookdale up by 7. Roundtree drive and kick. Boggs lost it. Brookdale head of the floor. Good, swatted away. Des Brown got back in transition. Open look. Roundtree, denied. Ringel swats it. The crowd loves the defensive effort on both ends. Back and forth with blocked shots. And this crowd on opening night ignited by that sequence.
Yeah, heck of a block by Ringel. Heck of a block on both sides. The rejection on the one end, and then Ringel comes down and makes a heck of a block on a 3-point shot that they were not set. Brookdale was not set at defense there, so Ringel, one of the sophomore leaders, going out and making a very nice play.
That certainly got some excitement in the building. Down to 25 seconds left in the half. Roundtree tried to go with the left hand, and they got Bradshaw on a foul, and Paul Chizek is on the court, and he is very displeased.
Foul
I think he's more displeased that his players have not sliding over than necessarily looking at the officials. But for Kyle Bradshaw, that's his first personal, so it's not a big foul. The problem is now that puts Harford in the bonus for the remaining 21.2 seconds of this first half.
And Brookdale leading 36-29. So it's Roundtree at the line. He had one free throw attempt in the season opener, short. So a trio of subs are set to come in for the final 21 2/10. It's Ringel, Jameek Moore, and Grant Good. Bradshaw and Hernandez among those to hit the bench. Roundtree missed them both. It's rebounded by Good. Brookdale can hold for one as the shot clock turned off. Down to 10 seconds. Moore takes his time. 5 seconds left. Moore hoists it up. Moore way short. 1 second left. The heave from beyond half court goes to the cheerleaders. And that puts an end to this first half of play here at the Collins Arena. Brookdale holding up very strongly against Division I Harford, as they've led for most of the way, and the score at halftime, Brookdale 36, Harford 29. And as we get set to welcome you back inside our booth, Brian Gadsworth and Tim Catalthamo. Tim, I think you can characterize this first half. It wasn't the prettiest, but Brookdale put forth a great effort and had themselves a lead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm very impressed with the way Brookdale is playing at high-tempo offense, which can give yourself the opportunity to make a lot of mistakes. They've been able to kind of correct some of them, but they have made some mistakes. I'm certainly Coach Chisholm's going to be talking about that in the locker room, but very impressive to come out against a Division I team. Really, truly the first true game that you've had all year, first regular season game, and against a very tough team, very good team in Harford. The Owls not going away, but certainly Brookdale's been able to be in control and is in the driver's seat with a 7-point lead at halftime. I'm very impressed with the way they played. I've also been very impressed with some of the new players, some of the freshmen that have really stepped up. We've talked about Zach Olicano, we've talked about Hernandez, we talked about Ringel, but some of the other players, such as Stephon Forbes, who had a couple of nice shots in the first half, have really stepped up and have also been able to contribute. So all around a very good half, very good first half, and I think something that Brookdale can build on in a second.
So this team won the region last year. We talked to the coaches before this game today. They said they believe this team could be even better this season. Heck of a start so far against Harford. We'll see what happens in the second half. We'll be back then after the break.
It's the week before finals here at Brookdale Community College. And students are running around hoping to pull together a big A on their final exam. But a few of them are here in the Bankier Library choosing relaxation over stress by taking a step out of the student's life and into the dog's life.
Well, this is an annual event that we do. Actually, we do it every semester. Around exam time, it's therapy dogs in the library for students to come in and staff too. Just to have some fun, to relax, pet the dogs, play with the dogs, and kind of relieve some stress.
Oh, you are so cute. I'm so happy. Oh. High five. You're so cute.
You know, everybody needs those study breaks, and it's a way to take a study break without having to get distracted at the same time.
First of all, that petting a therapy dog before finals is supposed to reduce all your stress, and it works. It actually works. This is, I think, the 4th year that we've been here, and finals are next week. Students will come. They will de-stress with petting a therapy dog. The dogs are trained. They're certified by an organization called Bright and Beautiful. We're all volunteers. We're also all the owners of these dogs. It's a wonderful, wonderful program. It's a win-win. The dogs love to be petted, and the students get to enjoy a puppy without, owning them.
My name is Amy Clark. I'm one of the librarians here, and I am the coordinator for this Therapy Dogs event for Anti-Stress Week. I feel great about the turnout. It is usually one of the most popular events in the library. This is the first year that I am coordinating it, and I'm really glad that we have as much interest as we do.
I never know what finals are.
I am a biology major at Brookdale, and I just finished my practical,
and I was so stressed out, and I was supposed to go home, and I was told that there were dogs coming to the library. So I immediately came back, and I am so happy right now. I have like panic attacks all the time from schoolwork and stuff, so this is like the best thing ever. So much special attention.
I just think it's a fun experience for them. If you're a dog person, it's great. If you're not a dog person, it's hard to not walk by and still want to give them a pet. And it's hopefully it'll get students to kind of relax at this time of the year that can be very, very stressful for them.
What do you like about humans? What do you think of this event on campus?
For nearly 50 years, Brookdale graduates have been shattering expectations. They transfer to Georgetown and Columbia University. They work at NASA, call Major League Baseball games, and defeat celebrity chefs. They prove, again and again, that a college is only as good as its success stories, and ours speak for themselves. This is Brookdale. This is college redefined. This is success reimagined.
Well, if you don't have a library, you don't have access to books and electronic resources that you need to do to complete most of your assignments. That's one way we contribute to student success. We also have our tutoring center here, so if you need some additional support for your classes, you come right in and get it. Not to mention all the computers we have for everybody to get their work done.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
This is not your ordinary community college. This is an education for the 21st century, a college that learns from industry trends and adapts to the changing job market. This is a group of acclaimed professors and a staff who will stand at your side and help you kick down any door you choose. This is where you can learn a new skill or earn a degree, online or in person, at 6 locations across Monmouth County. This is not your ordinary community college. This is Brookdale. This is college redefined. This is success reimagined.
Hundreds of community members, elected officials, and Brookdale employees came together in support of higher education on May 29th at the 2015 Scholarship Ball. The event, hosted by the Brookdale Foundation, featured live music, dinner, dancing, and a wide range of opportunities to help support scholarships for local students.
And there are many opportunities for our students to grow, to learn because of our foundation.
Attendees were able to silently bid on hundreds of donated items in gift baskets or participate in live auctions for luxurious dinners, outings, and experiences. The ball raised over $92,000 for the Foundation's Building Minds, Building Futures Scholarship Fund, which supports students and working families who don't qualify for financial aid. The fund awarded nearly $400,000 to more than 500 students last year.
It had been my dream to become a registered nurse, and with the help of the Ava Pelican Memorial Nursing Scholarship, I was able to better afford my education at Brookdale.
To learn more about the Brookdale Foundation and its scholarship programs, visit www.brookdalecc.edu/foundation.
Career Services is actually a resource center whose programs support, and that's their whole goal, is student success. We realize that success is different for each student.
And we provide all kinds of help to each student between internships, we do service learning, volunteer work, so workshops on resumes. So we are here to help every student achieve success.
And all our programs basically give the students that hands-on experience that they need to give them that sense of success.
Hi, I'm Laura McCullough, and I'm an Associate Professor of English in the Humanities Institute here at Brookdale Community College. I'm also a writer, I'm a poet, and an editor. I have a number of books out, and I work my butt off writing and teaching. Some of the things that we teach in the creative writing program here are a mixed genre creative writing class. It's an introductory class. We teach poetry, fiction, creative nonfiction, and screenwriting. There are two reasons to take classes in creative writing here at Brookdale, and the first is easy. If you want to be a writer, we can help you figure out an educational and career path to do what you love and what you're talented at. But the other reason is because creative writing is about tapping into your imagination. It's about finding the creative person inside of yourself, and you don't have to be a writer to take creative writing. The number one attribute that businesses and organizations need and want today is thinking creatively, looking at a problem and not saying it's either this or that, but finding a third way. So creative writing classes will help you to think more creatively. They'll also help you to be more empathic, to understand yourself better, and to understand your place in a very changing, complex world. We love our creative writing students here. We work with them in class and out. If you're at all interested in tapping into your creativity, finding out what kind of writer you are, or emailing us. The creative writing faculty here are all active writers, and we'd love to hear from you.
Hi, I'm Lauren Watson here at the Brookdale Athletics 2016 Hall of Fame.
We're here tonight to recognize the inductees into the Brookdale Athletic Hall of Fame. The Brookdale Community College Alumni Association is proud to sponsor the dinner tonight, along with the athletic department and also with the Brookdale Community College Foundation. It's great to have all these Brookdale alum back together to celebrate each other and to celebrate their achievements while they were here at Brookdale.
Oh, I think it's a great honor for anybody to be inducted to any Hall of Fame. I mentioned Dennis McCaffrey, young guy like him, and he's already been inducted into, tonight will be his 4th Hall of Fame that he's been inducted. And he's a very successful coach and a successful administrator up in Cranford.
I want to just thank Brookdale for all the other inductees, the 1986 team for showing us how to do it. Current athletic director, just feeling his passion, his love and concern for Brookdale. I want to say thank you, Brookdale, to all the employees. Keep doing what you're doing, because you got some kid that didn't really have a path. You got some kid that didn't really know what he's going to do. Be able to go to Villanova and have a great life because of Brookdale. And I say thank you very much.
It's an honor for me to be able to share this evening with all of the amazing inductees that are here, but especially with them. So, while I am proud of my accomplishments in my years playing softball here at Brookdale, the greatest of them all, for sure, is the honor of being inducted tonight.
You know how they say to have a nation, a village to raise. This is my Jersey family village right here.
On April 4th, on opening day in Baltimore, I will be on the field at Camden Yards in my tuxedo with my orange tie, and I will introduce the Orioles to a television audience of about 250,000 people, and then up to the radio booth, and I'll have the knowledge privately that it all began for me.
Happy Chinese New Year. That's right, it's the year of the monkey. And to kick it off, Brookdale's having a little celebration here at the Student Life Center. Let's go check it out.
My name is Kayla Cardoza. I'm the Vice President of Asia Society here at Brookdale. And the event today we're doing is Chinese New Year. We're celebrating the year of the monkey this year. And we have a bunch of different crafts that people can try. We have calligraphy for those who want to attempt it. We have origami. And we also have a marble game where you use chopsticks to try and pick up marbles of varying difficulty. And we also have free food in the back.
I'm Linda Wang at Teaching Math in Poland. I'm the advisor of the Asia Society. I'm the founder of Asia Society since 1994. I love the club, and it's great to see all the students come together, not only Asian students, but a lot of students who are interested in the culture and they want to be involved with Asia Society.
My name is Jungdun John, and on Chinese New Year, Korea also celebrates their New Year at the same day because they used to be a part of like one country. So we were once one country, so like it means a lot, like that we're celebrating the same holiday. So like one day, like we could just like feel reunited, maybe like in that way.
What a great way to bring in the new year. To learn more about Brookdale, visit our website at brookdalecc.edu. I'm Sophia Parola. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hi, I'm Michelle Zuppi, Brookdale faculty and department chair of the Culinary Education Center of Monmouth County.
And back inside the Collins Arena, getting set for a second half action here on opening night on Brookdale TV, and a very strong first half for the Jersey Blues as they lead it by 7, 36-29 the halftime score. And it'll be Brookdale ball as we get set for action here in the second half. Jameek Moore handles. He was limited in the first half due to foul trouble early on. Alley-oop attempt going airborne for it was good, but instead the Owls emerged the other way. A little bit out of control was Boggs, and he loses it.
Yeah, Boggs never had possession of that ball and basically just kicked it down the road, literally, and out of bounds.
So Brookdale begins the half with Grant Good, Jameek Moore, Zach Olakani, Matt Ringle, and Kyle Bradshaw, and we get a whistle.
Yeah, I don't think the shot clock was reset after that last possession.
So it seems to be a clock issue. One of the officials at the scores table as we speak.
It's either the shot clock or the game clock that they're looking at, and I have a feeling it's the shot clock that wasn't reset. So now they reset it back to 30. So I just think that they just never reset it after that last possession by Harford.
So now the discussion continuing here amongst the officials.
Yeah, now they're trying to decide, does Brookdale bring it up or do they bring it from midcourt? Now they're going to go over to midcourt because Brookdale technically had brought the ball up to around the midcourt area, so that's where they will inbound. And now they're going to put the shot clock at 24. So
after all that, not much of a change. Jersey Blues 36, the Owls 29. Bradshaw's jumper doesn't get the roll. Ringle, and then Good had it knocked away, and it's tracked down defensively by Boggs. It was not an impressive first half for Harford. In their second game of the season, held to just 29 points. Shot clock inside 15 seconds. It's now down to 10. Malik Jones, nice bounce pass inside, shot blocked again by Ringel. What a presence he's been down near the basket. 3-on-1 break, and the easy 2 for Bradshaw off the dish from Good.
And that was nice heads-up play by Good. He could have kept that, but he had Bradshaw, nice give up. It's hard to sometimes give up the ball when you have an opportunity like Good had. Gave up the ball and was able to get the 2 points from Bradshaw.
How about the tenacity that Ringel is playing with so far in this game? He has at least 4 rejections in this game and plenty of time to add to that total. Jones fires, yes, it's a 3-pointer for Malik Jones. He's probably been the one bright spot offensively as Jameek Moore rattles home a 3.
Yeah, Moore should have gotten an extra shot there. I think he was actually fouled there by Jones at the top of the key.
41-32, Brookdale leads. About 2 minutes gone by, just underway in the second half. Jones thought about a long one again. Boggs, bodied up by Good. Ogbonna, the fake, the drive into the lane, misses, offensive rebound. Ringel, the steal. And his defensive gem continues. Bradshaw trying to get to that pass. Possession stays with Brookdale. And Moore will set things up. And that is out of bounds, last touch, Harford. So the shot clock reading 14. And the lead for Brookdale reading 9. Olakani inside the arc from the baseline, too strong. Ringel. And he got fouled. I think Harford pleading that he traveled, but instead Ringel will step to the line.
And how about Matt Ringel in this game? Certainly not a performance that we really saw out of him last year. I mean, he was contributing and certainly helped, but we've seen a totally different Matt Ringel, a much more energy charged, and certainly someone who's making some really big time plays down low, rejecting shots away, getting steals, and just being a presence on the offensive end.
Yeah, last year he averaged 5.5 points per game. Did average over a block per game, so that was a part of his game last season as well. And he makes 1 out of 2 from the line. It's a 10-point Brookdale lead. Let's see if Harford can get something going on this end of the floor. Credit the Brookdale defense for pretty much holding them in check. Driving baseline now outside for Boggs. Boggs nearly lost it. Shot clock now down to 8. Jones against Bradshaw. Jones, the crossover, the step back, way short. Rebounded by Good. Brookdale thinking about running in transition. Moore, it's for 3. Jameek Moore counted. And this the largest lead of the night. Ogbonna off the rim, rebound Good. Good has been active on the defensive glass. Moore nearly lost control of it, able to scoop it back up. Bradshaw the fake. Bradshaw baseline jumper off the rim. Ringel hits the deck hard and a foul is called.
Yeah, Brookdale is just out hustling Harford on both ends of the floor. Harford's having difficulty trying to keep up and match Brookdale's up-tempo offense, and then on the other side, getting back on defense, Brookdale's just being able to overpower Harford. They're not being able to get back in their zone or in their man-to-man coverage. They've kind of swapped it up over the last several minutes, but Harford just is being outrun by Brookdale on both ends of the floor.
Another brief meeting there with the officials. But it will be Brookdale ball, Olakani to inbound as soon as they're ready to go. But and now we are. Olakani, the bounce, Bradshaw the catch, and the jumper is good. 15-point Brookdale advantage. It's 47-32 as we approach 4 minutes gone by in the second half. Feed the post. Ogbonna blocked again, and guess who? It's Ringel. Here comes Jameek Moore bleeding the break. Moore a little out of control, shovels it off. Good off the glass, and you bet it's good. On the drive, stripped but fouled was Isaiah Boggs. Get another look at the last basket by Good. And Isaiah Boggs, the freshman out of Washington, D.C., at the line for the Owls. Boggs, 16 points in the first game of the year, and he misses on the first attempt. And a whole new team just about is coming onto the floor for Harford. As Mike Smelkinson has to be disappointed with his team's effort so far tonight.
I think this is what Coach Smelkinson was afraid of when we were talking to him pregame. We both kind of came to the conclusion and felt that he was a little shaky, felt a little nervous about tonight, wasn't quite sure what he was going to have, wasn't sure what Brookdale was going to come out with, and I think this is one of his worst fears, that the game was going to go in this direction, that Brookdale was just going to out-hustle him on both sides.
Stolen by Roundtree. Roundtree leading the break. Nice dish inside and off the glass and in for Carlos Dunn. Jameek Moore attacking to the rim, and he goes glass for two.
And that's a classic example, but what I mean is out-hustling. Brookdale had only one guy, Jameek Moore, coming down the floor. Hartford had three players. They weren't able to stop a one-on-three situation. That's just, if you're Hartford, that's unacceptable on defense.
15 minutes to go. Brookdale 51, the Owls 35. Bradshaw intercepts the pass. Bradshaw looking up the floor. Bradshaw to the wing, three on the way, good, missed it short. Tracked down on the long rebound to Dunn. Ball ends up with Williams-Diggins. Roundtree, the crossover, stripped by Bradshaw. Brookdale comes back 2-on-1. Bradshaw takes it himself for the bucket. This has been just a terrific effort from Brookdale. Nearly another steal by Moore. Roundtree, wide open, Miklos, a three, yes. They left him uncovered, and the Owls will take a timeout after the made basket. Finally something for them to feel good about, but it's Brookdale in command. They're leading by 15 on their home floor.
Brookdale Public Radio has a really great program for students. We have Brookdale Student Radio, HG3, which is absolutely amazing. We try to guarantee every student that participates at least an hour of airplay a week. And in that hour, they can pick whatever genre they want to do, whatever topic they want to talk about, whether it's cars. We have stuff on NASCAR, video games, sports, whatever they want, whatever they're into. And then if they're really interested, we could also get them involved in 90.5 of the night. They get a lot of experience, really.
Back here on Brookdale TV, Brian Goutsword, Tim Catalfamo with you tonight. Second game of our doubleheader. And this has been an impressive performance by Brookdale. Moore adds to the total with a three ball. Jameek Moore, not much of a factor in the first half, but this has been, to some degree, an explosion for Moore and the Jersey Blues in the second half. Roundtree's pass is stolen by Cabrera. Moore leaking out in transition. Moore, the circus attempt, it drops in. Oh, they're just throwing up silly shots now. And Brookdale, everything dropping in the basket. Largest lead of the night, it is 20. 58-38. Looking for an answer in a hurry are the Owls, and that's not going to help. And Tim, not only has it not been the best effort on the defensive end, but sloppy play has really plagued the Owls all night.
Yeah, I think what Harford is trying to do is they're trying to play to Brookdale's level, but they're just not built that way. Brookdale just right now is just out hustling them. Harford's trying to match that, and that's what's leading to these turnovers.
Here they come 3-on-1. Williams-Diggins off the glass, he scoops it in. 58-40 Brookdale with under 13 minutes left to go. Cabrera, and that will be a travel. So this is a week where Brookdale will play 2 games at home. The game tonight, they'll be back in action again on Saturday when Union comes to the Collins Arena. As we get a foul here, and that is Jordan Hernandez over aggressive with Roundtree. And Brookdale will pick up team foul number 3 in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time still left in this game. A long way to go, 12:50 remaining with an 18-point lead. But if you look ahead for Brookdale, the Union game, particularly on Saturday, that's going to be a tough game because Union always has a very good team. They have a very loud cheering section that usually shows up here in the Collins Arena, so that'll be a very tight and high energetic atmosphere.
And you get a push call down low on Grant Good as he tried to deny Carlos Dunn.
Yeah, Grant's just got to be careful here. You got an 18-point lead. There's no sense to be taking little cheap shots underneath the basket when the play is over. You just got to be careful and be smart.
Tyler Harris will check in next dead ball, or will it be now? He's waiting at midcourt. And now he will enter. And checking out of the game is Good.
And I think that's a good call by Coach Chisek, bringing Grant out of the game. He's got a lot of talent, but sometimes in situations you got to learn just to let things go and not to get too fired up with somebody that either you're guarding or that's on the floor, particularly when you have an 18-point lead. You don't want to get a technical foul or 2 or do something that would change the momentum of the game.
The jab step move by Dunn, and along the baseline he's fouled.
And how about the drive penetration that Brookdale has been able to get in this game? Just really, really another area that they've been able to just really be able to get to the basket and really diverge or open up a lot of holes that Harford has in the defensive end where the Owls just have not had any answers.
So Dunn, who is one of 3 transfers to this Harford program for this season, but originally is from Ukraine. And he's one of 2 international players on this Owl roster. The other we have not seen yet tonight, and that is Batur Sahinos, who is from Turkey. 58-42 Brookdale, and that's a blocking foul. And right on cue, Sahinos is in the game. He got called for it, and he wasn't so sure about that one.
Yeah, and that's a good call by the official. I know Sahinos is not very happy about that, but when you run into a guy, particularly when he's trying to grab the ball after a pass, that's automatically going to be a foul.
Brookdale up by 16 points. 2-man game with Hernandez. The shot was blocked on the perimeter. Here come the Owls in transition, led by Williams-Diggins. Nice move. They got around Moore for the bucket. And you get a whistle and a timeout because Paul Chisek is not happy after that transition opportunity for Harford. And so with 12:06 remaining here at the Collins Arena, we'll take a break on Brookdale TV.
Teaching is all about encouraging a passion.
We are from many countries. We have many things in common to live our American dream.
Jersey Blues looking to come out on top here on opening night. It's been a strong performance from the get-go. And right now the lead at 14. As possession with Brookdale outside the timeout. Moore got bumped. Bodies tumbling to the floor and a foul called. So Moore thinks he should be shooting, but
yeah, I thought he was in the act of shooting, but maybe not.
Instead, it's Hernandez getting ready to inbound. Get it in for Ringel. Ringel, the sweeping hook, and he gets the roll. And Matt Ringel, both ends of the floor. This has been one of his finer outings as a Jersey Blue. 60-44 is the Brookdale lead. Roundtree had it knocked away. It's last touch Brookdale, and there's a disagreement about that. It's not going to matter, though, as Carlos Dunn checks out of the game. Isaiah Boggs is back in for the blue jerseys. And Tyler Harris trying to come away with a steal. Here they come 2-on-0 break. Harris finishes it off for 2.
A nice unselfish play there by Hernandez, giving the ball up, giving it to the guy who set that play up in the beginning, which was Harris.
Boggs fouled by Ringel. Team foul number 5 of this second half. Bradshaw and Grant Good set to check in. It's the third personal on Ringel. And as you get a look at Paul Chizek there. And you know, another year where you say goodbye to several different players, a lot of new faces, only 4 returning from last year, but Paul Chizek has seen that happen a ton of times, and yet this program remains so good year in and year out.
Yeah, 26 years, been doing this a long time, seen a lot of basketball, and certainly he and his team recruit very well. That's always been an area that they've been very strong in.
Jameek Moore through traffic, he gets it to go. Now, this is a guy, you talked about it earlier on, was here a couple of years ago, away from the team the last couple of years, but boy, are they happy to have him back, and he figures to play a big role this season.
Yeah, he's a playmaker. He's someone that Brookdale is going to depend on down the road to make plays, and we haven't really seen him too much tonight. Again, we really didn't see him for the majority of the first half because he picked up those 2 personal fouls, but since he's been in, he's had a couple of threes, he's made some nice plays, he's been aggressive, certainly a player that Brookdale is going to be lucky and happy to have on the floor this year.
10:55 remaining, Brookdale 64, Harford 45. And there's just never been a stretch in this game where Harford has been able to gain any kind of momentum. As Williams-Diggins comes up empty, the putback is no good by Boggs, and then it popped free, but Moore couldn't hang on to it.
And I'll tell you what, Brian, I said this a moment ago. I know we still got 10:33 remaining in this game, but if Brookdale is able to hold on here, this is going to be one heck of an upset to start the year for this team. Unbelievable being able to take down a Division I team, albeit it's at home, but still, Division I team going up against a Division III team, that would be one heck of an upset to start the year.
Ogbonna, offensive foul. Good, it took the hit. And I mean, a big part of the Harford struggles tonight have been just that, turnovers. And one thing that was an ongoing theme for a lot of last season, the home dominance that this team has displayed as they won all 16 of their home games a year ago. As here's Boggs, and he gets that to go. And you go back, and they haven't lost here at home since February of 2016. That's 18 straight. They've been victorious here. Moore, count it, a 3 for Jameek Moore, who has had himself a terrific opening night. Ogbonna trying to throw it down emphatically, and he'll get free throws out of it.
Yeah, Kyle Bradshaw actually made a nice play on the ball, but his body also got into Ogbonna as he was going up with the ball, so that's why that's a foul. But he made a nice play, got his hand up there, made a clean block, but you can't also have your body hit the guy at the same time. That's why there was a foul.
So Edison Ogbonna at the line, the sophomore out of Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, makes this a 19-point game with Brookdale on top, 67-48. And 2 out of 2 from the line. Brookdale's 5 is Moore. Cabrero just drew the foul on Malik Roundtree, along with Bradshaw, Olakani, and Grant Good. A couple of changes there for the Owls. But it's Brookdale's night tonight, up by 19 points. And they have led for just about the entirety of this game. Olakani was stripped and fouled. So for Harford, it's team foul number 7 and the first on Karan Green.
Yeah, we've talked about Olakani. We talked about him earlier on in the game. He was the leading scorer of all the players that have returned from last year's team and is someone that Brookdale needs this year to step up. So far tonight, he's been able to do that, but they're going to need his performance throughout the year.
Williams-Diggins, the acceleration, nice dish, and the finish is good for Ogbonna. Brookdale breaking the press, good, and he's hacked. And another on Green will pick up 2 fouls in a short amount of time. Team foul number 8 and good to the line.
And one other thing that I've seen tonight that I've been very impressed with, while it always hasn't been pretty, Brookdale has been able to pass the ball very well. They're very efficient with their passing. That's one of the reasons why Harford has had trouble trying to keep up with them and trying to play defense and trying to fill in those gaps on the defensive end, whereas Brookdale's been able to just overpower them and have so much high-tempo offense and been able to really keep that tempo up for the majority of that game. It's really been because of the passing and making nice, crisp passes. Brookdale's done a very good job of that. Hasn't always been pretty tonight, but for the majority of the evening, they've been very good.
Oh, the steal, the behind the back from Cabrera to Bradshaw. Another highlight for the Jersey Blues. And trying for one is Isaiah Boggs. It's a blocking foul as Ringel went down in the restricted area. And Boggs will shoot a pair for the Owls. So for Ringel, perhaps the only blemish on his night is the 4 personal fouls. He has been active, particularly on the defensive end. I mean, if you play the highlights from this game, you'd see a lot of Brookdale blocks and getting out in transition and forcing turnovers. It's kind of been the story tonight.
Yeah, they certainly have been all over the place on defense, and really Harford has just never had an answer, which has been tough. It's been frustrating for them because they've been in this game. They were only down by 7 points at halftime, but just ever since then, Brookdale's really just opened things up, and Harford's never really been able to get back into things.
Foul committed by Boggs in the back court. And Brookdale will walk to the other end and shoot free throws. Bradshaw. But, you know, you almost had to wonder just what we were going to see tonight as Bradshaw misses the free throw. Given all the players Brookdale lost last season, the players they lost were among their leading scorers, and you went into this game wondering, well, where would they get offense? Well, I guess that was a silly question because anyone they put in uniform is capable of producing offensively.
And that's one been one of their biggest strengths over the last several seasons, always having somebody that can step up and make those plays. This year, we're going to be very interested to see if they can maintain this ability to have players come off the bench and make plays. I mean, we've seen so many different players for Brookdale tonight make so many nice plays, some that have been on the bench, some that have been on the floor, some of the sophomore leaders that are returning. So when you have that type of depth that you can depend upon, when one or two of your guys maybe isn't having a very good night or maybe gets into foul trouble, you can look to that bench and have the confidence that they can make those plays. That certainly is beneficial.
It's out of bounds off Hernandez, so Harford will inbound underneath. And wide open, and the basket is good by Karan Green. Long two-pointer, 71-56 as Brookdale turns it over. And as Green was knocked to the floor by Bradshaw, Bradshaw commits the personal. And it's team foul number 10, sending Green to the line. So Green, one of the few sophomores from our nation's capital, and he makes the first. Here comes Olakani in for Bradshaw, who sits with 3 personals. Two out of 2 from the line for Green. Brookdale 71, Harford 57, and did they get a travel? Yes, they did. So all of a sudden, a little bit of sloppy play from Brookdale. They've turned it over a few straight possessions. And you see if Harford has one last gasp here before this one is in the books. Nice cut, Ogbonna for the easy 2, the dish by Jones. And now the pressure is applied in full force. Cabrera nearly lost it. Cabrera gets it across, but then it's stolen. Green ahead of the floor. Green lays it in. And this has become slightly interesting now with 8:06 left, timeout. And Harford has gotten back into this game. We'll be back on Brookdale TV in just a moment.
Well, the semester's coming to an end, and students are either cramming for finals or stressing about what their next step is. But if you come across the Brookdale Bank Year Library, you'll find people who are willing to help you de-stress, relax, and clear your worried mind. Oh, and did I mention that these people were therapy dogs? Yeah, let's go check it out.
My name's Tayo, and I'm here to pet some dogs and be not stressed. Dogs just have this peaceful aura. Petting them is calm to me instantly. My name is Michelle Fields, and we're here with all the therapy dogs to help the students de-stress. Since she was 6 months old, she just had just a docile nature, and she loved people, and she especially loved kids, and she would let kids do anything to her. So we knew that she would be a great therapy dog. So I had a dream of taking her into the hospital and helping out some kids, going to visit people. And so it took about 6 months of training, and she passed all her tests. And now we go regularly to Monmouth Medical. We visit the pediatric ward and we were invited to come here today.
I think it's just a great way to get your hands on an animal and feel their love and energy, and they bring a smile to everyone's face and they keep everyone calm. Just to see the student's face when they see him, it brings so much joy to my heart and his, and he loves helping everyone.
I just love dogs. They make me happy. So how do you think this is helping you guys de-stress from?
This one is tightened up now with 8:06 remaining here in the second half. Brookdale has been in control for most of the way. They've led by as many as 20, but a recent spurt here by the Owls. They've cut into the deficit, and it's now a 10-point Brookdale lead. Harford showing some press now in the backcourt. Brookdale advances. Moore is back in the game, and Moore attacks the rim and banks it in.
That's why Moore is so dangerous, being able to make those plays really kind of on his own, able to give Brookdale the easy 2.
Boggs comes back with a bank shot of his own. And so these teams trading baskets on the last two possessions. Olakani stripped to the ball, and it's tried to be saved by Green, but it's in the hands of Grant Good, and he banks it in, and a foul.
Hold on a second, I'm not sure. Nope, they are going to give it on Grant. So they're going to give him the basket. I thought originally they were going to call that an offensive foul on Grant because Carlos Dunn, I thought, was in that restricted area, but it looks like they're going to keep it as it is on the floor.
Yeah, and Carlos Dunn, he's done. He fouled out, 5th personal. And so Good trying to make good on an and-one opportunity and extend this Brookdale lead to what is right now 75-63. Good out of St. John Vianney. And then it rolls off the rim, rebound Green. Olakani stepped in front, but it's batted out of bounds. Malik Jones got around Olakani. Here's Ogbonna straight away, and it's well off the mark, and it rolls out of bounds, and it's over to Brookdale. And even 7 minutes left to play tonight. Jersey Blues 75, the Owls 63. Moore quickly ahead. Cross-court pass to Cabrera. Cabrera on the drive, and there was a lot of contact. And as the ball is out of bounds and Brookdale holds on to it.
And if you're Brookdale here, I know that they've been using this high tempo offense. It's been working for them, but really here you don't necessarily have to. This is a nice lay-in by Ringel, but you don't necessarily have to use too much up-tempo offense here. You have a lead. You actually want to take more time off the clock as much as you can, so you only want to be taking shots late in the shot clock.
Green, tough shot, missed it off the rim. Ringel secures the rebound. Moore, and he got the benefit of a call because Moore pretty much had nowhere to go with it, and Boggs commits the personal. 4th personal on the Owls freshman. Both teams are in the double bonus. Free throws for Moore. And it has been an impressive performance, particularly in the second half tonight.
Checking the game for Harford, number 15, Martin Kelly.
So Boggs is out. He's in foul trouble. Martin Kelly Jr. is in. And Friz Cabrera is making his way toward the bench. I'm not sure if there was an injury or...
Yeah, I think he might have a small cut that possibly is bleeding a little bit. And, of course, the officials aren't going to take any chance. They're going to try to patch that up if they can.
Yeah, he's going to see the trainer.
Yeah, that's Pete Fusco there on the sidelines in the red warm-up jacket.
So Cabrera will get that taken care of and get back into the game, and Moore will shoot free throws. Or at least one more. Sophomore who comes from Hackensack up in northern New Jersey. And in and out. Come up on 6 minutes left to go. The Brookdale lead is 15. And the nice move as Malik Jones switched hands, lays it in on the drive to the basket. Moore will set things up. He's watched on the outside by Green. Cabrera bounce for Ringel. Ringel the back in. Ringel hooks a pass outside. Shot clock at 3. Olakani pops it for 3. It's tipped back out, and Brookdale, I thought was going to get another opportunity, but Good was ruled to have traveled. And I don't know about that call. Neither does Paul Chizek, who disagrees vehemently. But it's Harford ball.
Every journey we take in this life starts with
I mean, Good didn't even have an opportunity to move with the ball. As off the miss, it's going the other way. So maybe that was a make-up call, maybe not. Either way, the Jersey Blues have it.
Number 12, that is his fourth.
Des Brown picks up his 4th, so the fouls are piling up for the Owls. And Brookdale is back to the line.
But Brookdale's not necessarily making good on those fouls piling up for Harford. They're not knocking down as many foul shots as they need to be making right now. And Harford only down by 13 with 5.5 minutes left. They're still hanging around, so this is still not over just yet.
Yeah, they're within striking distance as Moore makes the first. They had that one pretty good run there where they cut it to 10 points. Jersey Blues have led by as many as 20 tonight. And that time Moore makes good at the line. 80-65 Brookdale. Malik Jones, and he is fouled shooting a 3-pointer. And that means 3 from the charity stripe coming up for number 3.
Fouls on Brookdale, number 13, Jimmy Moore.
And you can't have that when you're up by 15 points to give away freebies. And that is Paul Chizek sitting in his seat.
Yeah, and Hartford's not making well of their opportunities at the line either. Both of these two teams, I don't know what exactly the stats are, but not as sharp as they should be from the foul line.
He's 1 for his first 2 with 1 more coming up.
Particularly when you're in a close game and you're down and the clock is not on your side, you have to make these basically free shots with the clock stopped from the line. You got to be able to make those.
80-67 foul at midcourt as Cabrera grabbed control of the pass and Ogbonna commits the foul. So for Ogbonna, it is number 3.
It's a good thing that either of these two teams have a pretty large bench, because I think pretty soon we're going to see more players start to foul out. There's been a lot of fouls the last several minutes.
Well, each team has been well over the 10 foul threshold in this half now for at least a few minutes. And for Brookdale, you know, this is a team right now that has 12 players on the roster, but as Paul Chizek told us before the game, they have more on the way.
Yeah, they're trying to just figure a couple things out. Some of those players will be coming in later on, but they certainly have a lot of depth. The problem is in this game, like I said, when you run into a situation like this where it's really kind of foul every 15 seconds, you have to make sure after that 3 by Harford, now it's only a 12-point game, they're still hanging around. You don't want to do things that are going to give Harford an opportunity, particularly with the clock stopped at the foul line, to claw themselves back into the game.
Yeah, it was Green on the last 3-pointer. We're down to about 5 minutes left to go, and we'll be back here on Brookdale TV. (82-70), the Jersey Blues in front. It is opening night here at the Collins Arena. Brookdale coming off a 24-win season a year ago and looking to make it 1-0 to start the 2017-18 season. And it's been Harford who has stood in their way of that, and the Division I Owls have not been up for the task tonight. It's Brookdale ball outside the timeout. Moore, nice feed inside, and good is fouled. And is that Malik Jones who hits the ground hard, and the trainer comes out to check on him. I think he got called on the foul, but he wound up taking the bigger punishment.
Yeah, he jumped really high trying to block that shot from Good and kind of got caught with his legs in the air and then came smacking down. You see both coaches now going over to check on him because that was a very hard hit that he took to the ground.
So we saw an injury in the first game on the Harford side as well, and this time it is Malik Jones as his teammates gather near him while he is down in pain, and they are getting him to his feet now as the crowd on hand gives him an applause.
Yeah, Malik's going to be a little shaken up, but I think he'll be all right. That hurts too. Sometimes it depends on how you fall, but particularly if you hit your knee after going in the air like that, that really stings because there's really nothing there protecting your knee bone when you hit the floor like that.
So Jones able to hobble to the bench where he'll undergo further examination, and for Brookdale it's Grant Good at the line.
Yeah, that's going to be a lane violation. They moved too quick. That was Frez Cabrera that jumped the lane too early.
So the shot missed anyway, but
see, that's two shots now that Brookdale had an opportunity at the edge of their lead. They weren't able to do it.
Ogbonna, corner pop, off the front rim, flying in for the offensive rebound. Williams Diggins, Ogbonna again, way short again, and Frez Cabrera the defensive rebound. Pass was tipped and stolen by Kelly. Martin Kelly Jr. to the basket. Missed it, tipped home by Green.
It's a 10-point game.
Under 4.5 remaining, 82-72 Brookdale. And that's Moore, who's fouled by Green, and that's number 3. Green, who without hesitation goes toward the bench, has a word with Mike Smelkinson as Moore makes his way to the stripe. Now, Moore has been busy tonight, especially at the line here in the second half. Jordan Hernandez checking in. 4:22 left to play. And Moore that time knocks them both down. Jersey Blues 84, Harford 72. Bounce pass stolen. And that was just too easy for Moore. And Moore lost handle of it. Williams Diggins in transition. And up and over the contest of Ringel for the transition bucket. Brookdale able to get it across with Cabrera. Try to settle things down here. If anything, eat some of that clock as they operate with a 10-point lead. Moore to Ringel, won't go, but a foul. Nice setup that time by Moore. He has a complete offensive game.
He's got great awareness and able to find the open man. That was Ringel that time, and I know Ringel's frustrated he didn't get that basket, but that's what he needs to do. Just be patient inside the paint. He's a big body, so he's going to draw a lot of contact. Sometimes it's better to be patient and wait for that contact than to try to rush it in the paint and try to go up too early. But again, just struggles at the foul line. Brookdale's not doing themselves any favors here. I know they still got a 10-point lead, but 3.5 minutes to go is a very long time in basketball. They've missed a lot of critical foul shots from the line.
Michael Miklos enters the game for the Owls as Ringel splits a pair. 3.5 remaining. 11-point Jersey Blue lead, and a steal, and then Cabrera is held by Miklos. Probably a good foul, otherwise Cabrera was going to take it to the basket uncontested, and now we'll make him earn it at the line.
Yeah, that was a good foul, but Coach Chizak wanted an intentional foul since it was Sahinos who was holding Cabrera's jersey, so he kind of wanted an intentional foul there instead of just a regular foul, and he might have a case.
Cabrera, who has been very active tonight. Freshman from Perth Amboys. The officials are going to get together here. Good effort there by Hernandez as he was able to knock it off an owl and give the Jersey Blues another possession, more opportunity to eat away at this clock.
Yeah, both coaches are not very happy with the officials right now. Coach Chuzak just gave Tom Fitzgerald an earful. Now Mike Smelkinson has given Tom Fitzgerald an earful on that last whistle, so both coaches not very happy with what's being called on the floor.
Inside for Grant Good, and he's able to put it home. Boggs all the way to the basket, and he's able to convert that one. And Harford will talk things over with 2:55 left to go. It's the Jersey Blues leading by 12.
The Garden State Film Festival.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this team, Brian, I mean, the fact that Brookdale's been able to remain in this game and build such a lead and be able to do this against a Division I team, I think that's really kind of getting lost in the fray here, because we're so used to Brookdale being strong and being good and always having some really nice efforts at home. But this is a Division I team in Hartford, so this is not like a team that they're going to play on Saturday like a Union or a Passaic or even a Middlesex County. This is a team that's very, very good, that's in the Region 20 in the Division I of NJCAA. This is not in any way an easy team to go up against, and Brookdale's made it look pretty easy tonight. Obviously a bad inbounds play there, and they're still leaving this door open for Hartford, but for the majority of the game, they have played very well, and I've been very impressed.
Well, it's been a strong effort from top to bottom. As Green fires away, and there's just been a lot of that. Stolen back Williams-Diggins, and all alone is Boggs for the bucket. Brookdale beats the press, bumped on the outside. Williams-Diggins called on it. And any foul the rest of the way is resulting in 2 free throws for the opposition. This time it will be Hernandez. So a couple of the players who are back from last year, we have to get used to different uniform numbers. Owakani is one of them, and Jordan Hernandez as well.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken correctly, the only player that came over from last year that has the same number is Matt Ringel. I'm pretty sure that's the only
Kyle
number.
Bradshaw.
And Bradshaw as well, yes.
Yeah. 88-78 with under 2.5 left to go. Brookdale with the lead as that shot misses by Martin Kelly, and then a foul called as Boggs was whacked on the arm, and he'll shoot 2. So Matt Ringel is called on that one. That'll be the end of his night. Bradshaw in to replace him. But even though this night results in Ringel getting called out on fouls, it was a strong performance for the sophomore.
And Now, if you're Harford, this is an opportunity with the clock stopped with 2:19 remaining. You're down by 10. You got to make these foul shots count.
And Boggs short on the first one. Well, Harford will get set to go back home in Bel Air, Maryland, where they'll have a couple of home games. They'll meet Harcum on Friday. That's a Division I team in the Region 19, the only one. And then Monday they'll have a meeting with Mars. Another steal, open look at a three, and it's off the mark by Kelly. Moore trying for the acrobatic save. But possession will be awarded to Harford.
And while I've been giving credit to Brookdale all this game, the last several minutes, they have not played very well. They've been very sloppy, allowing Harford to kind of slowly get back into this game.
Well, here's Hernandez. Might have been blocked, but a foul is called as Green got back in transition, but foul goes on him, and more free throws.
And that's 4 now on Green. So we talked about a couple moments ago, earlier on in the second half, how good it is that both these two teams have large benches, because I think we're going to start to see, we just saw Ringel foul out a few moments ago. We're going to start to see a couple more players. If we continue on with the way this is going, the pace that we're having here with all these fouls, we're going to see more players start to foul out pretty soon.
So Hernandez at the line, and he figures to have a pretty prominent role this season, perhaps as the starting point guard. Of course, Kerry Kirkwood, standout player the last couple of years, has moved on. Boggs, count it. Tough shot as he was falling to the ground. And now you get another foul. And
that's going to be it. Green's going to be fouled out there. That was a very late whistle.
He got tangled up there with Olakani.
And that's some of the cheering session there for Harford. You see them obviously dejected, not very happy with that call. And I don't know, Olakani made a lot of contact with Green. They were both going with the same ball, but Green's the one that gets called with the personal. And Coach Smelkinson is not very happy on the sidelines. Talk with some of the officials.
Well, this game is not going to go in the books as the prettiest game that the Brookdale has ever played.
No
certainly not that Harford has ever played.
My gosh.
But hey, a win's a win, and it's 142 away from being official. Brookdale up 90-80.
I mean, not to say that it hasn't been a good effort for Brookdale. I mean, they have come out, they've done what they needed to do, and Harford has played very strongly. I mean, 91 to 80 points on either side. That's a good night, but it's just been very sloppy, particularly in the second half.
Kelly, the acrobatic finish. Now, Martin Kelly Jr., whose name we have not called very much tonight, as Moore lost his footing, but was able to keep possession. That was pretty incredible. Now Olakani, oh, what a handle that was, and a foul is called. It was a blocking foul. Olakani is a magician with the basketball in his hands.
Yeah, now Coach Chisek is arguing that Olakani, when he went over in the paint, that the player that he was going over was inside that restricted area. I don't think he's going to win that argument, but I thought Malik Moore traveled with the basketball. I don't know how that was not called.
And Kelly counted and won. So Martin Kelly has come alive in the final couple of minutes here for the Owls. He'll have a chance to make it a three-point play. This is probably the closest Harford has been in this game in quite a while. And the game not officially over as of yet. But he can't convert at the line, and then a whistle. Was it a lane violation or a foul called?
Yeah, I think Jameek Moore got pushed in from behind by Isaiah Boggs, so that's now going to put Brookdale on the other side. But you mentioned it a second ago. Last time Harford was this close was at the end of the first half. Remember, they trailed by 7, 36-29 at the end of the first half. This is the closest that they've been able to get to Brookdale since then.
Yeah, Brookdale is led by as many as 20 tonight. And we don't have it officially, but I'm pretty sure they have led this one from the opening tip when they scored their first points. 92-84 with 1:06 on the clock. And 2 out of 2 for Moore. Boggs to the basket. So Harford will have to start fouling soon. Time ticking away, 45 seconds. They collapse on Moore, so Bradshaw now trapped in the corner. Bradshaw, and I think he had the presence of mind to throw it off an Owls player, and he did. That was a tough move because he pretty much had nowhere to go with the ball. Shot clock at 10. And now you get a foul on the inbounds pass as Moore is held, and that goes on Boggs.
And Boggs might have fouled out, I believe. I think that might be his 5th.
I think you're right, and that's the 3rd player who is out of the game on fouls. As he makes his way to the bench. And again, we don't have the stats in front of us, but Jameek Moore probably has like 15 free throw attempts in this game, maybe more.
Yeah, not to dump it all on Jameek Moore because he's played well. The entire team's played well. But one thing that Brookdale, when they go back and they look at this game, one thing that Coach Chizek, those guys over there on the sidelines, the assistant coaches, are going to have to do a better job of is foul shooting. They really have allowed Harford single-handedly to get back into this game simply because Brookdale's just not been able to make some of their foul shots. There's been so many fouls in the game, and Brookdale's not been able to maintain their lead because they're not making them from the foul line.
All right, 95-86, Roundtree. And he draws the foul on Bradshaw. So with 30 and 5/10 seconds remaining, Roundtree to the line on the Harford side, and what is a 9-point Brookdale lead. Got a brief look at the crowd here, and we were remarking, pretty nice crowd here on hand that showed up for this season opener.
Opening night, pretty nice crowd. Driving rain outside, so better to be outside better to be inside than outdoors, right?
Especially with the colder temperatures now upon us. Finally, fall has arrived as Moore missed the easy one, and then Roundtree and Hernandez, and now they start to get into it.
This is exactly what you didn't need.
Yeah,
Totally
Hernandez took exception on that tie-up. Roundtree with a little over-aggressive effort there, especially when this game is all but over. And so they have to be separated.
And I know Jordan's frustrated. And listen, I mean, there's been a lot of pushing and shoving going on, but you got to be smarter than that.
And Paul Chizek huddles up his group here. I guess this is a timeout. Sometimes it seems like we have these timeouts that aren't official timeouts.
Well, I think the officials are trying to figure out who they're going to call technical on. They called several technical fouls, so I think they're going to try to sort out who's the technical on.
Now, they got one on Roundtree. The question is, did Hernandez pick one up as well? And it's only fair that they both would be charged with technicals. As it was Hernandez who kind of started that mini scuffle.
Yeah, but it was Roundtree who threw Hernandez down to the floor after the whistle had blown, which is the reason why Hernandez was upset. And you have a reason to be upset, but you got to let that one go. So these technical fouls, just to explain at home, they're going to offset. So this is the reason why I believe we're not shooting technical fouls here. I would assume. I'm not sure why you would call 2 technical fouls and not have either team shoot.
Final 20 seconds now with Brookdale 95, Harford 86 as a foul is called on Cabrera. So Malik Roundtree back to the line. And Kenneth LaRocca set to check in for the final possession here on what will be an opening night victory. Last year around this time, Brookdale played Bergen. Remember, that was a great effort. They scored over 100 points in a blowout. And this year, the game perhaps a little bit uglier, but the result the same, as it's one in the win column. Roundtree misses. Moore can dribble out the clock if he chooses. And Harford was not backing off. They commit a foul. And so this one not yet wrapped up, but all but officially the Jersey Blues will go to a record of 1-0 to start the season.
Yeah, and this is going to be a big win. I mean, I talked about this a second ago if Brookdale was able to pull this off. Now it's looking like obviously they're going to be able to do it. This is a big win against a Division I school. Great way to start your season. Brookdale, as I said earlier during the women's game, one of the very few schools that'll play Division I teams, sometimes Division II teams throughout their schedule. They have a fighting chance in some of these games. So a really great way, great momentum builder. Certainly there's a lot of mistakes that they're going to have to clean up, fouls and particularly foul shooting, but a great night overall.
And so the final horn sounds, and the Jersey Blues continue their home dominance as they win for the 19th consecutive time here at the Collins Arena and start the 2017-18 season with not only a victory, but a victory against a Division I opponent, as Harford drops their record to 500 at 1 up and 1 down, and Brookdale has one to feel good about as they'll get set to welcome in Union. That will come your way on Saturday. So the teams shaking hands, making nice after that little bit of a scuffle there. And now you see what's going on. So this probably all triggered by the events in the final minute. And of course, the cheerleaders have already taken the floor. It looks like they're going to make their way off the court now. So you get a little extra excitement after the final horn sounds.
Yeah, and I was watching these two teams as they were shaking hands. There was some tension, and that's why we were staying on that shot for so long, because sometimes after a game like this, the way that it ends, you got to be really careful that you don't allow something like that to happen, or a fight could break out. And that almost broke out on the floor.
All right, so Brookdale is victorious tonight. The final score, the Jersey Blues 97 and the Harford Owls 86, as we'll get set to welcome you back inside. Brian Goudsword along with Tim Catalfamo. And we talked about a lot of different things here tonight, but one player certainly that stood out, especially with his second half performance, is a player that we're going to be saying a lot of good things about all season long, and that is Jameek Moore, now back with this team.
Yeah, played very well, certainly very impressive effort. I mean, there were so many different players that played really well. Zach Olakani, Kyle Bradshaw, many of the freshmen that came off of the bench really playing their first official game at home in this arena against a Division I team, and they were able to handle it very easily. I know there was a lot of mistakes that were made down the way, certainly throughout this game. A lot of fouls committed in the second half by both teams, and certainly a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers, particularly in the second half, that Brookdale is going to have to clean up. They like to run an up-tempo offense, but sometimes that up-tempo offense can get you in trouble, and that's what happened in the second half. Brookdale was really kind of almost giving the game away in many ways to Harford if they were not going to be able to be more careful with the ball. But overall, a really great effort. Very impressed. They go on to play Union, which will be a tight game, will be a tough game. It'll be an in-conference game on Saturday. But overall, very impressed by the effort. Certainly, Jameek Moore played very well. But I'm really more so impressed by a lot of the freshmen. We expected out of Jameek Moore. We expected out of guys like Zach Olakani, Matt Ringel. But we don't necessarily expect it out of the freshmen coming off of the bench and playing a really nice game. I was very impressed by their effort tonight.
All right, so one in the books. We'll be back here again Saturday as Union comes in. That'll be our next broadcast here on Brookdale TV. For Tim Catalfamo, I'm Brian Goudsword. Good night from Lincroft, New Jersey.